Rumble! Ready? Fight! Oh! Please, have mercy. No mas. No mas! No mas!
Love you.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Oh yes, I'm healing you, little short person. Be healed. Yes, but I'm sit down. Yes, sit down.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I'm a little late. I'm just waking up. I'm just getting up, and that's why the intro was so short. I wasn't even going to do an intro, but I saw that one, the Trump one, and I just had to. I had to put it. I know it grossed a lot of people out, but what can I tell you? I just had to put it in there. So yeah. I worked last night. I got in late, so I'm just now getting up. I'm just now waking up. So this is me. This is me with my sleepy face, which is no different than any other face, I guess, because it seems like I look the same to me. Anyhow, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here with my channels. I'm trying to get this set up still. But anyhow, good morning, everybody. I do see that Jolie was first today. Very proudly first. So thanks for being here. We got Aaron West here also. So you know what that means, guys. That means that we are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. I do appreciate you being here. So I'm a little groggy. I haven't really had time to catch up on what's going on this morning. In the news. Apparently, we're all still here, though. Thank goodness. You know, didn't wake up to the world being in flames or something, like literally in flames. Maybe figuratively we are. Anyhow, let me just finish this up real quick, and then I'll give you my undivided attention. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's not letting me go all the way back to the top in the chat. So I don't know, but just picking up where it says Anamora is here. So hello, Anamora. Good to see you. We got James Jaramillo. James Jaramillo. Nola Carnes is here. Paul Burrows is here. WW. Hey, WW's here. WW 131. Oh, man. Just trying to get my morning coffee going here. DPD is here. DPD 5844. Deputy Dog. Aaron West says, I just had a job interview and it was pitched to me as a 1 day a week in the office and the rest remote. And I just found out it's 100% in the office. Boo. Well, that sounds like some false advertising there. How do people do that kind of shit? Obviously, that was a lie. Because it wasn't even close to the truth, right? You know what? I didn't get any new memes. I didn't have time to find any new memes. So should I do this one again? A little reminder: vote every Republican out. Every single one. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's funny. I said false advertising. I had not even read DPD's post yet, and DPD said like the same thing. DPD said, "Oh, my Aaron, sounds like false advertising. Are you going to take it?" We're not going to take it. Hell no, she's not going to take it. Aaron says, probably not. Another one, Nolan Carter says, that's false advertising. WW, Aaron, do you have PayPal? I don't have any of those others. WW gonna send a little cash, Aaron's way. Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. DPD says, good call, Aaron. If they were shady about you being able to work remotely, the majority of the time, God only knows what else they could be hiding. Yeah, it's not a good way to start off, right? A business relationship or any other relationship for that matter. Starting off with lies and deceit. Not a good way to start things off. Petrazi, 1920. Petrazi. 1920s here. Good to see Petrazi. Petrazi. Vasanta Elf. Vasanta Elf is here. Good morning to you, Vasanta Elf. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. Johnny Katz. Johnny Katz is in the lounge. The driver's lounge. Bill Carnes. I look like that lady. I looked like that lady on the far right when I was 18. Now I look like TJ. Oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. That was a quick intro. Yeah, I didn't have time to do anything because those intros take me like 2 hours to make. The long ones. And I just woke up. Literally, just woke up. Like, well, it's been like a half an hour now, but I didn't get to bed till like almost 4 a.m. I think. Hey, Liberal Dan's here. Hey, Liberal Dan, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Thanks for popping on in. What is great about Thursday evenings? It's Liberal Dan coming on at 8 o'clock Central Time. Liberal Dan used to only come on Mondays and Wednesday nights. Now he comes on Thursday nights as well. So go ahead and check out Liberal Dan tonight, right here on YouTube. Johnny Katz, it's still early. It's still early. There can still be a world in flames. Yeah, it's early. Yeah. Anamore says DJT is threatening to freeze funding to charities like Catholic charities. I guess he didn't appreciate the Pope's opinion. You know what? Donald Trump, just keep going, Donnie boy. Just keep losing and losing more and more. At some point, I am waiting for him to just say like, "Fuck everybody, fuck all y'all." You know, not even he doesn't even care. Not that he ever cared about the maggots, but he's going to drop all the pretenses and just say fuck it. And you know, I don't know. It's not going to be good. I don't think his going out is not going to be good. He's going to want to take a bunch of people out with him, I guess. It's one of those. It's going to be one of those deals. James Hermio says, Anamore, I don't know how he constantly gets away with this shit. Doesn't the House control the money? Well, the thing is, the House is controlled by the Republicans, and they are completely sycophantic to Trump. Hell, they were taking his orders even before Trump became president. When he told them to block Biden's border bill. And they did. So, if you're wondering why Trump's getting away with everything, it's because of Mike Johnson and the Republicans. And the Senate Republicans. They're no better. That's why we need to vote out every Republican, every single one. Because they've proven that they certainly can't govern. Although we've known that forever, that they can't govern. But it's been proven over and over again under the Trump administration how these Republicans cannot govern. They just are lickspittles and give Trump carte blanche to do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've been watching too much Tommy, too much political punk. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, boss? Dude, Pine Box. Johnny Cat, Central Time. Something. I should have learned time zones there. Where are you at, Johnny Cat? Where the heck are you? DPD says, here's another reason to tell Amazon to fuck off. My husband was telling me that a man died on the line and the workers were told to work around him for an hour. What the fuck? Oh, that's the workers. I hope the workers told whoever told them to work around him to go fuck himself or themselves. And you know, called 911. And I mean, you don't do that. Even for, just out of respect, for God's sakes, for the dead person. That's just. William says that Pete Hegseth just led a prayer at the Pentagon and used the Bible verse from Pulp Fiction. No way. Could be SNL's cold opener this week. No way. William, no way. No way. No way. No. No, he did not. He did not use the Bible verse from Pulp Fiction. That was totally not a real Bible verse. No way. What did he do? I mean, if you were going to use a Bible verse from the Bible, wouldn't you just go to the Bible? So what did he do? Like, how he's troll. Hegseth has to be trolling, right? I mean, he had to know that was not actually from the Bible, right? Am I giving him way too much credit? I mean, how could you be a supposed Christian and you, what did he do? Like Google Bible verse and then the Pulp Fiction one popped up? I mean, what the fuck? Or he just thought it was cool because what, Jules? Was it Jules from Pulp Fiction? You know, reworded it and reworked it to sound cool and kind of violent or whatever. I don't know. Oh my God. Nola Carnes, $5 super chat. Yippee. Thank you so much, Nola Carnes. I appreciate you getting us on the goal there. Coffee money or half coffee money. $5. I can still get a grande coffee at Starbucks for less than $5. That's one of my pet peeves about people. This is not on you, Nola Carnes, but I mean, even going back 20 years ago, Rush Limbaugh, for some reason, had it out against Starbucks, and a lot of people in media talking about how, you know, it's $5 for coffee or whatever, $8 coffee at Starbucks. Okay, those drinks were not. That's, to me, that's not coffee. Okay, this is coffee. Well, you can't really see it, but you know, this is coffee. This is coffee I made in a coffee machine with coffee grounds, and you make coffee. Those drinks that they were complaining about, these $5 and $6 cups of coffee, those were those big frozen mocha, you know, frappuccino things. Those were the ones that were expensive. Even back then, back when in the early 2000s or even the 90s or whatever, when Fox News and Rush Limbaugh that was complaining about the price of coffee, you could get a grande or even a venti. Isn't the venti the large one? Whatever the large one is, I always forget these stupid words they use. They should be complaining about that more than the price. But you could get the largest cup of coffee at Starbucks back in the 90s for like $1.20 or something. And now they're probably, I haven't gotten in a while, but I think they're barely over $2 now. And a grande I think is still under $2. So It's one of my pet peeves that the right wing, for some reason, they have it out against Starbucks, or they want to complain about, I guess, coffee prices, or they want to complain about how people. Basically, what they're saying is people are wasting their money. People are complaining about not being able to pay for health insurance because they're wasting their money on the expensive Starbucks coffee. And they'll say it's a $5 cup of coffee, or it's an $8 cup of coffee. No, the cup of coffee at Starbucks is still pretty reasonably priced. Talk about false advertising, and like Erin's company, or that company she was in touch with, being lying and deceitful. To me, that's the biggest deceit. When people were complaining about, $5 and $6 cups of coffee, a frozen mocha frappuccino is not a cup of coffee. There might be some caffeine in it, but that's not a cup of coffee. Mountain Dew has caffeine. Is Mountain Dew a cup of coffee? No. Coca-Cola has caffeine in it. Is Coca-Cola a cup of coffee? No. So just because it has caffeine in it doesn't mean it's a cup of coffee. I probably hate Rush Limbaugh for that more than anything that he said. No, that's not right. That's not true. That's not right. He said way worse things. Way worse things. IB YouTubing's here. Hey, IB YouTubing, good to see you. IB YouTubing too, apparently. MJ Daniel from up there in Washington State is here. Good to see you, MJ Daniel. Johnny Katz says he's going to do what everybody knows he's going to do. Flip out old man. Who is he talking with? Everybody. Yeah, he's flipping out. Old Trumpy. James Harmio says, good point, Sir TJ. I'm not sure what that was about, because I know I'm behind and I forgot what point. I know it wasn't the coffee thing. This is before the coffee thing. So I don't know. But thank you. I'll take it. MJ Daniel says this Republican Senate. Oh, maybe it was about the why Trump gets away with it. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because then MJ reminded me. This is reminded me. So MJ says this Republican Senate and Congress are the most corrupt in U.S. history by a lot. By a lot. By a lot. I got the most corrupt. I got the most corrupt Congress, the likes of which have never been seen. Trump would be proud of that, I'm sure, that he has a corrupt Congress. By a lot. Johnny Cat says, motherfucker, you watch The Political Punk and I ain't seen you in chat in the Empire of Southern California. I've made a few comments in there, Johnny Cats. And in fact, Tommy even kind of he's referenced a couple of mine a couple times. Like, maybe he didn't say my name, but I know he read my chat. But a lot of times I'm either working and lurking, so I can't really chat because I'm either in the cab. I'll play it while I'm driving, or if I'm waiting in a taxi lane or something. Or I'm at home on the couch playing a game on my phone. I'm watching it on my TV. But I've made some comments in there. I think Tommy knows who I am. I think he knows about the show. I think he kind of copied my whole format. I'm just kidding. No. DPD says my husband and I guess my husband maybe and I voted today. Oh, we voted today. We both voted for Damon Lynch, who's not the devil. Anyone named Damon, I always think of Damien. But anyhow, voted for Damon Lynch, who is running against Greg Landsman. Dun, 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 Landsman. Landsman's not a man's man. Anyhow, I'm taking it that Damon Lynch is the good Democrat. So hopefully, I don't know who he is, but I'm assuming. And you know what happens when you assume? You ask me. Anyhow, I'm assuming that Damon Lynch is the good Democrat, and we're voting for him or them. I guess I should say them, because we don't want to vote for Republicans. They are not good. MJ Daniel says people say Republicans are afraid of DJT and MAGA. I say BS. They are afraid of getting kicked out of the gravy train. Yeah, there's lots of speculation. That's like, what do they have on them? You know, they must have compromise. I don't know. Republicans have not been very good for my entire lifetime. They've just gotten progressively worse, and I don't know if it's about having compromise on anyone. Maybe they've got some compromise on Lindsey Graham or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think they're just despicable people. Yeah, who are just total sellouts. That's what I think of the Republican Party and Republicans. Williams says yes. Little Crunch, you are all welcome. And thank you again, Noah. Thank you for that. I do appreciate you. MJ Daniel says, yep, Tom Hartman was just talking about it. Was he talking about the compromise? WW says, MJ Daniel, is there really any difference? It is the same reason that Aunt Nancy stayed in power for so long. Well, I think there is a difference. And I know WW. I know at heart, I know that WW is a good Democrat. Fuck you, WW. He's going to come on there. I'm not a Democrat. But anyhow, and he just wants to get us to think. I'm always hoping the best for WW or Wes or any other name he comes in here at. That really he's just trying to make us think. Make us, not just be going through this, marching in lockstep. But I think there's probably many reasons why Aunt Nancy stayed in power for so long. It's because there's lots of reasons, but the parties, I think both, they like name recognition for one thing. Once you become an incumbent, and as long as you're not a total turd, it's kind of hard to lose that seat. So the parties like incumbents because it's a little bit easier to keep that seat, and you don't have to put as much money and effort in keeping that seat, right? I mean, you still have to, but then they can concentrate on trying to get other seats. So I think that's why we see Nancy Pelosi in there. We see Strom Thurmond or whatever. He's dead now, right? Who's the other one? Chuck Grassley. We always wonder, why the fuck do they stay? Why? This guy's 99 years old. Why the fuck is he still in there? What? And at some point, it gets a little ridiculous. But he's got name recognition. People are used to voting for him, and as me being a Democrat and him being a Republican, I don't really like him. But apparently, the people of was it Iowa or whatever, they fucking like him. And it becomes like, oh, Chuck Grassley, yeah, they just vote for him. They don't even have to look him up. They know who he is, or they know the name, or whatever. And he hasn't turned out to be. He hasn't done anything really super, controversial ever. I don't think. So these things, they become names, name recognition, and it becomes easier for the parties. It's just an easier thing. I think that's part of it. That's not the only reason why some of these people stay in forever. Also, it is lucrative, and it's a fucking kickback job in a way. I mean, I'm not saying that the good ones, and like the AOCs and the Bernies and whatever. I think they work their asses off. Even Nancy Pelosi, I think she worked her ass off. But they do get a lot of vacation time, a lot of recess time. They do get perks, a lot of good perks. They get paid very well. They do. Apparently, they get the inside track on fucking stock market shit. So there's lots of perks. So the perks are good. So that's one reason why they stay in for so long. And also, I think both the parties, the Republican and the Democratic parties, they want them to stay. They encourage them to stay because of that name recognition. So it's not just I don't think it's just a real easy black and white answer. It's a little a little nuance there. I guess there's more than one reason. Petrossi, did he do Joel's impersonation? Hexeth, I don't know. That would be funny. That would have been funny, and then we at least would know that he knew that it wasn't really from the Bible or something. I don't know. If he would have said, "Look at the big brain on Brad" or whatever. Or something like that. DPD says, yes, TJ, all the way. Kegseth is that stupid. I know he's stupid, but man, that is really stupid. Liberal Dan Radio, he definitely paraphrased it. Yeah, Jules did. That was a definite paraphrasing and a tweaking to suit his needs. Anamore says, TJ, I wouldn't be surprised at anything this administration does, including mocking the Bible. They are despicable. They're despicable, I tell you. They're despicable. They're despicable. MJ Daniel says, Pelosi got some good things done for the American people. Johnson is a sycophantic. Yeah, I mean, at least, okay, we could say, yeah, she made millions of dollars, and while she was in there, I don't. If she did something illegal, then okay, fine, book her, Dano. But as far as insider trading, I don't know if she. It's just the fact that you're just there and you see the shit going on. You know what's being worked on in Congress. You know how things are going. That could just be. That's not really like the same as getting, a tip from someone or whatever, But at least, yeah, she got a lot of bills through, good, meaningful bills. And Mike Johnson has done nothing, absolutely nothing, other than just cradle Donald Trump's balls very gently and lovingly, I might add. Anamore says, I'm waiting for my turn to vote. All right, Anamore. Vote every Republican out. Now, this is primary time, so pick your good, the person you like in your primary there, and see how it goes. Mad Mac, Slava Ukraini. Slava Ukraini. Slava Ukraini. Keep kicking some Russian ass. Keep kicking that Russian ass. WW, I'll go to Starbucks for the bathroom. What, you don't like the coffee? You just use the bathroom? You mooch. You moocher. MJ Daniel says, I use San Francisco Bay French roast, just under $8 for a 12 ounce at Winco. I'm currently brewing chock full of nuts. Yep, that's my coffee. It's pretty good, chock full of nuts. Chock full of nuts. WW, I have a can of Folgers in the freezer, a little over 10 years old. Why? Is that like when the Earth starts coming to an end, you'll have that coffee? What the hell? Why would you save a can of Folgers for 10 years? I guess, I don't know. To each their own, I guess. To each their own. What did W do to Aaron? Said thank you to W for some reason. I don't know. Did that PayPal come through? I don't know. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. DPD, I hate to burst your bubble, but fuck Starbucks. The CEO, Brian Nickel, is a flaming Nazi, not to mention they don't care for their workers. And yeah, I wasn't really talking about that. I mean, yeah, fuck Starbucks or whatever, for that. But I'm just talking about how it was an age-old argument that I remember hearing, I think probably back in the 90s and through the 2000s, about how people were buying these like $8 cups of coffee and they would single out Starbucks. But they weren't talking about the cup of coffee. They were talking about the frozen frappuccino, big fancy drinks. That was my whole point. It was about that misconception and actually an intentional lie about cups of coffee being $5 or $6 or $7 or $8. When cups of coffee, because I've pretty much, whenever I've gone to Starbucks, I've gotten some of the fancy frozen frappuccino drinks every now and then, but I would say 90% of the time I just get a cup of coffee. So I know very well what a cup of coffee has cost me. I remember when it was like $1.50. $1.50, $1.60. I think now it might be just it might be a little over $2 now, maybe 2.50 for the big one. So that was my point about how right wing media, especially like the Rush Limbaughs and those guys, Bill O'Reilly's, they would all say it. Sean Hannity about the $8 cup of coffee this is back in the year 2000, when there was no $8 cup of coffee. It was still $1.50 primarily. That was my point. Not getting into the CEO and all that kind of shit. I'm talking about the right wing media and how they lie. James Harmio says assumption is the mother of all fuck ups. And also, you ask me. That's always my. Some people don't know that I'm joking, I guess. Because the joke is when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So I just say, when you say assume, you assume me. I don't know. Maybe it's just too stupid of a joke. Maybe I should not quit my day job. WW, all the politicians complain about New York and California, but that's where the chunk of their money comes from. Yeah. Same way with the states. The people that live in Oklahoma and fucking Alabama and Mississippi. If you tell someone that you're from California, from one of those states, they look at you like either like you're just such a poor thing. Like they're like, oh, I feel so sorry for you. You're from California, or they'll look at you like, ah. But it's states like California that are supporting these fucking red states. These poor as shit red states like that. They're the takers. We're the givers. And Daniel, I was done with Starbucks when the shithead owner Schultz sold the Seattle Sonics to OKC. Yeah, and that's really, I hope you guys aren't missing my point. That wasn't about supporting the CEOs and shit like that. It was about the lies and misconceptions of the right wing media, basically. WW, I just registered Republican and voted in the Republican primary. Well, I know, but you do that as a strategy, right? Because you're gonna fuck up the primary and you're gonna vote for some other ass, some whatever. I don't know, but whatever, dude. WW 11,000 workers at 500 Starbucks stores unionized. Are unionized? Yeah, they've been doing a big unionization movement. MJ Daniel says, are also the religious fanatics in Congress have been getting attacked? Wait, have been getting to attack the people they hate. I choose we the people democracy over GOP fascism and theocracy. Me too. Oh, liberal Dan Hickseth also paraphrased what Jules said. I didn't see that. So he actually did it like he was actually like praying. He was actually like that was the prayer. DPD says Damon Lynch the third, I guess. Wait, has been a pastor at New Prospects. So he's not Damien. Anyhow, has been a pastor at New Prospects Baptist Church. He's a real Christian. The son, Damon Lynch the fourth, has significant ties to Ohio. He's running a grassroots campaign. So what's the one you voted for? The fourth? Anyhow, Johnny Cat says, someone remind me, why did Martha Stewart go to prison? Because she got actual insider information. I'm just saying, I don't know. People are always accusing like Pelosi of and other people in Congress of this getting insider information. I'm just saying, I don't know if they're even actually being tipped off, or they're just so they're in it. They know what bills are being discussed and going to be passed, and so they just use that information to make their stock decisions. I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying that's the way it is all the time. I'm not saying that there isn't insider trading going on with congressional people, but I'm just saying that it also could just be that they are so much in the know of what ahead of other people, I guess, that they're and so and I'm not saying that's ethical. I'm not saying that's moral. I'm not saying that they should be allowed to do it. But as far as I know, there are no laws against that right now of them just using the knowledge that they are privy to make to buy stocks and shit. That's why there are people like AOC, I think, and Bernie Sanders, and probably Elizabeth Warren and others are saying that. I shouldn't say they said that because I don't even know. I'm just sort of talking here, but I know that there are people that have in politics and in I think even actual elected officials or elected representatives that have said that we need to make a law that says that while you're a member of Congress, you can't trade in the stock market. And I think there would be some differentiation made between, like, if you have a 401k and you've got in you can invest your 401k into like there's like mutual funds, and you don't really see that there's a mutual fund that goes to a company where they handle that. That's different than being like a day trader or calling your stock broker and saying, hey, put 100,000 shares on whatever, toothbrushes, because there's gonna be a whole new thing about toothbrushes. You know what I mean? 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 I'm about ready to turn the AC on. By the way, it's getting hot in here. Is it just me, or is it getting hot in here? My goodness. My goodness gracious. All right, I'm turning the AC on. Hopefully that won't be too loud. WW says it's not for us to say who isn't or who is or isn't a true Christian. That will be judged later on by someone else. And his name is God. He goes by the name of God. Judge not, lest ye be judged as ye have judged others. So saith the Lord. Hey, if anyone can, if Hegseth can paraphrase the Bible, I sure as fuck can paraphrase it. Anyhow, MJ Daniels says, with the insider trading that is most likely going on, and GOP Pelosi was nothing. She's nothing. But anyhow, we should make it to where I think where I think they should pass laws where Congress people can't, like be day traders or how, like I said, other than if it's like a 401k situation and your 401k has a mutual funds and there's that's the stock, that is the stock market, but that's different than actually calling your stockbroker and buying a bunch of shares or selling a bunch of shares because something's going to happen. There should be I think there should be a law that would just makes it so they can't do that. If they want to be stock, if they want to play in the stock market, then they should not be Congress people. That's what I think. And right now, I don't think there's any laws about that. There are laws against insider trading, but I don't think there's any laws against just Congress people buying and selling stocks and out of their own portfolios. And I think there should be. While you're in office, you don't play the market. WW frozen coffee for company. At least I have some. When I serve it, people say it tastes fine. They're just being nice, WW. They're like, yes, this tastes fine. They're like, what is this shit, like 10 years old? Nola Karn says, I love Pelosi for standing up against Trump, especially when she ripped the papers up behind him. Hey, hilarious. Yeah, I like that moment also. DPD says, Greg Landsman also has significant ties to Les Wexner. Landsman graduated from Wexner Heritage Program. Well, he should be very proud. He also received $415,158 from AIPAC. So let that be known. We got Lynn, 2166 here. Hey, Lynn, good to see you. It says all of the 7-Eleven stores are going out of business by next year. I don't know about that. There's about a million of them here in Vegas. So I don't know about that. WW says tea at Starbucks is between $3.75 and $6.75. Yeah, and I bet back when Rush Limbaugh was still alive, and back when I'm talking about when it really was a big thing for them to bring up in the late '90s and early 2000s. I bet you that tea was probably under $2. Lynn says 7-Eleven no longer accept food stamps. Lynn, I don't know who this is, guys. I don't know who Lynn is, but there's a million 7-Eleven stores. I have one right around the corner, 3-minute walk. I go there all the time. They have stickers all over the place that says that they take EBT cards and that it's SNAP. They take SNAP eligible and all this kind of shit. So as far as I know, at least the ones here in Vegas, they take SNAP and EBT, which is the cards that they use for SNAP, right? When SNAP is the modern day equivalent of food stamps. So apparently Lynn is from Pennsylvania. I don't know, but here in Las Vegas, 7-Eleven takes food stamps, which is SNAP, which is on an EBT card. IBU Tipping says looks like Trump is impacting FIFA tickets and hotel reservations, bad for the U.S. economy. Trump is bad for the U.S. economy, everything he does. Bob Newell's here, says Vance is a douchebag. Well, thank you, Mr. Bob Newell, for saying something other than I can't hear you. DPD says I love 7-Eleven as a kid. They have the best ices. There it is, Mr. Bob Newell. I can't hear you. Lynn says, did you ever have lamb meat? It tastes like ground beef. I don't know. I think I've had lamb at some point. I don't know. MJ Daniel says Rush made a shitload of money lying his flabby ass off. Yeah. His grifting game has really come along. You know. IBU Tipping says California gets a bad reputation because Fox continues to rip them on everything. I think they are trying to get Republicans back in power. You think? They praise Texas, whose minimum wage is still at $7.25. DPD says we voted for Damon Lynch IV. Okay. All right. So yeah. So apparently his father is the pastor, and the fourth there is the one that is running for office. Johnny Katz, I know what you mean, boss. And thank you for your attention in this matter. DPD says something is amiss when you enter into Congress or the Senate with no money and retire from office a millionaire. If that were the case, everyone would go into public service. Well, I think, yeah, a lot of people try, but not everyone can. But I again, I'm sure there is nefarious insider trading going on, but I also think, just like I said, just being in the position and really maybe getting information that you just work with and you just see it. It's not really like a tip or something. I don't know. And also, I think, they make good money. Their salaries are pretty good, and it gives them a lot of, I think, kind of money to play with. More than the average person. You know what I mean? Maybe if I made 175 grand a year, I would dabble a little more in the stock market. WW says Jesus will identify his own. He even promised to come hunting for us. Jesus, he's a hell of a guy. Christine 16's here. Hey there, Christine. Good to see you. Christine 16. I'm highly suspect of this person in here. I don't know. Christine says you shouldn't be able to profit off of public service. WW says index funds should be fine. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with mutual funds and index funds. Personal business, on the other hand, are problematic. Christine 16, got to go for a walk in a bit. I'm getting my first B-Day cake in 29 years. Oh, well, happy birthday, Christine. Christine 16. Mad Max says, I've heard the 7-Eleven's going out of business for the last 30 years. There's like 1 million of them here in Vegas. They're everywhere. Every fucking corner, man. There's a 7-Eleven, just about. WW says 645 out of 13,000 7-Eleven stores are closing. So they're sort of trimming some of the fat. I know there's at least one here that I know of that I saw close, and it was kind of in a really shitty neighborhood. It was in Naked City, in the place they call Naked City. It's a few square blocks of these apartment buildings that are right behind the Strat, and there was a 7-Eleven right there, and that one closed. That's the only one I've seen close around here that I can think of. Teresa TAK is here. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Good to see Teresa. Haven't seen you in a while in the chat, so thanks for coming on in. Thanks for coming on in. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. And I'm caught up with the chat. Johnny Cat says, doing all right. Finally had a breakthrough with the pudding maps on my T deck. It only took 6 months. I don't even know what that is. What are pudding? I don't know what pudding maps are. And I don't know what a T deck is. Tape deck? Tape deck? I don't know. T deck? I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any facts. About anything. So I don't even know about anything. I really don't like this Dodger hat. This is the worst weird fitting hat I have. I don't know why I'm even wearing it today. Anyhow, yeah, Linda says the 7-Eleven pizza's tasty. I've had a few times because sometimes it looks good and you're like, oh, let me go one of those slices, and you take it home and it's just, eh. I mean, I have been lucky enough to get a slice or two when it was fresh out of the oven. They just made it. Those aren't too bad, but if they've been sitting in that case, I think anything more than even just like 5 or 10 minutes, they just get tasteless. You know. Lynn says you need to wear a Trump hat so people know how much you hate him. Would that do it? Would just the fact that I keep saying how much I hate him that's not enough? Are you guys hearing the AC? Let me turn the thermostat up a little bit on that so that it's not constantly running. All right, so what else is going on in the world? Christine16 says, I haven't gotten one in years, but I used to get 7-Eleven pizza on EBT. You just had to pay for it before they cooked it. Oh, like if you got like a whole pizza and then they can cook it there for you? Yeah. I you know, I have had a whole pizza there. Like I think I did order one when I was watching football or something, and it's okay. It's just not that great though. All right, so what else is going on? So Hegseth said a prayer using the Pulp Fiction version of Tarantino's version of biblical. Yeah, Jolie. Yeah, I had suspicions about that, but I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. It seemed a little different, Jolie. This person that, yeah, I had my suspicions, but still seems like not the same person that maybe we're thinking it is. I don't know. Because the grammar was a little better, maybe. I don't know. But okay, moving on. DPD says the best low-cost stocks to invest in for growth potential would be Petco Health and Wellness, or First Trust Nasdaq, cybersecurity, or Under Armour. You can invest $10 to $30. Wow, DPD. Disclaimer: we must say, well, as far as I know, DPD is not. Well, maybe you are a professional stock advisor or whatever, but just know we're not really giving any advice. So don't it's just for entertainment purposes only. Johnny Cass says F autocorrect pudding maps, not pudding maps. Okay, okay, I get you. You were putting some maps on a TDEC. TDEC is a small device that uses an open source decentralized communication through text messages. No cell service is needed, known as Meshtastic long device comms. Well, that just went over my head. But thanks for clarifying that it does not involve pudding. But actually, I think it would be cool if it did, because I like me some chocolate pudding. Okay, Jolie says, trust me. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Johnny Cass, I don't hear the AC. Teresa TAK says, just got our new couch love seat, and a recliner, very comfortable, leather material, dark gray. Wow, sounds nice. Sounds nice. Just make sure that JD Vance is not around, because he likes to break in new couches, I hear. You know what I mean? Johnny Cash says 7-Eleven have stepped their entire food game up. They now have a Philly cheesesteak pizza. It's really good. Again, get it. Try to get it either. If you're going to get a whole one, then yeah, you can either cook it. I guess you can cook it yourself or have them cook it. If you're getting a slice that's in a little deli case, ask them how long it's been there. If it's been there even more than 5 minutes, I wouldn't get it. You know, it just doesn't keep very well, I don't think. WW's got some spaghetti, apparently. SPX Standard and Poor's 500 index is very good. If you want it, buy it and forget it. Yeah, get you one of them Fidelity accounts, right? Right? And you can set it and forget it. DPD says, or you could set up an Acorns account where they invest your spare change for you. Always pay yourself first. And no, TJ, I wasn't a stockbroker. However, I am a stock enthusiast. But yeah, Yeah, the Acorns account, the Robinhood account, and basically they're I think utilizing those Fidelity type funds, those mutual funds and stuff. Or I guess you can do individual, stocks and stuff. Yeah, Vanguard has the best free rates. Yeah, Vanguard. I've heard really good things about Vanguard. Yep. David Weiss from Denver, I believe, right? Is David Weiss from Denver? David Weiss says, Meshtastic is interesting. I use DMR and D-Star with my ham radio license. Johnny Cat says, yes, there's even a setting for ham radio license people. Very good. Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff. Johnny Cat says, what was so difficult about the maps problem is I had to accomplish it with no computer, just an Android phone. And no pudding. Josh C says the coffee just kicked in. I'm sort of awake now. Chock full of nuts. Chock full of nuts. It'll drive you nuts. All right. So what else is going on now? What else is going on? Let me see. Let me see if there's something I can find here going on. Trump announced a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. Reported on CNN 26 minutes ago. Is that true? Did that really happen? The breaking. There's an LAPD chase. Stolen truck live Los Angeles freeway pursuit. Someone stole someone's work truck. Bastard. What freeway are they on? Oh, they're on the 14. They're going through Santa Clarita right now. That's my old stomping ground. So they got a chase going on. That's not just a work truck. That's a freaking. I mean, that's like. That looks like CalDOT. It looks like Caltrans or something. Truck. He just did he exit? Exit the 14. They got the cops behind him. Should we watch a chase? Car chase? Let's see. Yeah, that's my old stomping ground. That's just about 30 miles from where I used to live for about 30 years. This is going through, canyon country and all that kind of shit on the 14 freeway. See, that's like someone they stole this fucking like Caltrans truck. There's CHP. So when did you see the new thing? I don't know how new it is, but I saw one the other day where they had this thing come out. Was it here or was it in Nevada? I mean, was it California or Nevada? I don't know. I was watching where they get right up kind of on the guy's bumper and they have this thing that comes out and it goes up underneath the tire of the car they're chasing. And they did that. I think that was in California. They did that the other day and it made the guy just go right off the road and crashed into a wall into someone's backyard. So that's weird. Josh C says there was a dump truck chase in Syracuse last week. It ended up in Onondaga Lake. I don't even know what that is. Johnny Cat says it says after the driver refused to pull over. Oh, well, yeah, yeah, it's weird, huh? Developing story under investigation. So he's back on the 14. Yeah, it's kind of weird. This one looks like a weird one. Ugh. Why am I sneezing? Johnny Cat says, "Yeah, it takes a cargo strap and wraps around the tire. Oh yeah, yeah, and stops the car. Yeah, that's right. It has that strap that goes around the tire. It's pretty. I don't know how long it's been around, but I just saw it. I think last week on a chase. I think that's the first time I've seen it. Yeah, that's the first time I think I've seen that. Let's see. Should we go a little bit more over? We can watch car chases together. See how it ends up. See if this guy ends up in the ditch or what. Yeah, he's got a load of looks like um, I don't know stuff for road construction crews, like the little signs and the little cones and shit. Well, let's see what kind of mileage does that truck get? It's gonna run out of gas at some point, probably. Yeah, there's tools in there. Yeah, but see, it's all the little barriers, those little barrier things. Um, See, this is the sign of the. See, that's the uh, traffic management. TMT, traffic management. So they probably it might be a private company that contracts with the county or the city or something. Something of this nature. Yeah, Everett Tauscher says he'll end up in jail. Mad Mac, what they need is a drone to drop a magnetic device that sticks to the car. It makes an EMP for the vehicle. James Hermano sounds dangerous. But the EMP is dangerous too. If this guy's going 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you just make the car stop, that could be pretty dangerous. That's why I remember, they've had apparently for quite some time now, they've had the ability to be able to stop vehicles ever since they started putting all these computer chips in the cars and even in big rigs. Because I remember hearing I was sort of overhearing a conversation. I think I was at a scale, for the truck scale, and one of the DOT officers in there was saying how he said, "Yeah, we could stop a truck like with the push of a button." Now maybe he was bullshitting, but this is when 'cause all this stuff was coming out. The trucks were changing; they were getting more and more. Um, Even in the big rigs, more and more, like computer chips have running on chips and shit like that. And there's this DOT officer was saying how they have the capability where they could stop a truck, but they can't. But even when it's going down the freeway at 70 miles an hour. But he said, if we did that, the truck, it's going to cause the truck to wipe out. Speaking of trucks, there's one there. It would be very dangerous, not only to the driver, but to anyone on the freeway around him. And this was probably 15 years ago. This guy was talking about how they could kill a truck's engine just through a few pushes of a button. And could probably do that with these with all these vehicles, but that gets pretty dangerous. If a car's screaming down the freeway at 70 miles an hour or faster. Now, I don't know how fast this truck is going. He's passing a lot of cars up, so he's got it floored. But if you did that, that could cause a whole lot of problems. Mad Max says much needed in big rigs because nothing else can stop them. Maybe a DB cat bulldozer like in Vanishing Point. Mad Max, this is like the OJ chase, except faster. Even OJ was going, or not OJ, who was driving? His friend was driving. They were even going slower than this. They were going really slow. Christine 16, stopping and controlling are two different things. Yeah, and the DOT officer, he wasn't talking about controlling the vehicle, like taking over and controlling it. The way he made it sound is like they could just stop it dead. Like, he didn't say anything about controlling at that point. Maybe now this is 15 years ago. Maybe the technology, maybe they could take over the vehicle and take over so that it would brake slowly and gear down, and almost all the trucks are automatics now. I've never driven an automatic big rig, but since the time I started driving to now, it's completely flipped. Like, when I started driving, there was almost no automatics, and they had just started coming out a few years later after I started driving, and now it's completely flipped, where almost all the big rigs coming out are almost all automatics. And so that might be something that would be easier if you could take it over remotely, and then you wouldn't have to worry about so much about gearing down, because it's an automatic. It would kind of gear down on its own, kind of thing, and then you could steer it maybe and all that kind of stuff. Josh C says, I'm still disappointed we never get an OJ style chase with Trump in a golf cart. Oh, was there a spike? Did they try a spike strip? I missed it. I didn't see it. But it looks like they missed because he's still going. He's still on the 14, it looks like. The 14 is a freeway that runs from just out of the San Fernando Valley, which is San Fernando Valley. For those of you that don't know, that is the valley that's just right over the Hollywood Hills from LA, just north of LA. And then as you drive through the San Fernando Valley and you start getting a little further north, you can hit the 14 freeway, and that will go up to where I used to live, which was the Palmdale Lancaster area. And then you can take the 14 freeway, which will go all the way up into pretty close to Ridgecrest, up to hit the 395. And then when you hit 395, you can take 395 all the way up to freaking Washington State, basically. But certainly up to Reno and north of Reno. DPD, a car chase. That's what we've resorted to. This is what we've become, folks. Watching car chases. Everett Tauscher, I don't want to see spike strip. Yeah. So for some reason, it's just so odd that this is a truck, obviously, that contracts with the highway department or the road crew, and they set up the barriers. They they do some road work, and they're chasing that car. That's just so weird. I don't know. That's it's not. Usually, it's something else that gets stolen. And I don't know if this guy stole the truck or if this guy was one of the contractors or what. It's a weird thing, man. Mad Mac, when the power steering goes out, the driver can lose control and crash into others. That's what they're trying to prevent. Um, Johnny Cat says the officer didn't even deploy it. Yeah, here's a good shot of the truck. See, those are all those little stands that they put up, and to block off lanes and stuff. I've seen these trucks. They're work truck pursuit. Yeah, he's now he's up near Agua Dulce. I think that would be. I think he's in. I think he's in. Somewhere up there. Yeah, he's north. He's northbound on the 15. He's going to be getting into Palmdale in about 10 minutes. I got pulled over for speeding on this stretch of highway right here. One time back in the 90s. Cop pulled over two people at the same time. Me, you know how they'll do that. They'll pull over two people. This is a a section of road that lots of commuters that use this highway that commute from the Palmdale Lancaster area down into the valley or into LA. So a lot of people in a hurry to get to work, and there's usually a few CHP officers in there, just basically for them it's just like shooting fish in a barrel, getting speeders. This guy's passing that little van there. I guess that was a van. Or was that something else? But he's just cruising, like he's just, you know, cruising down the freeway. I don't know what his plan is, because at some point he's either going to run out of gas, or they're going to finally get a spot where they think it's safe to do a pit maneuver, or do the spike strip or whatever. Johnny Cash, yeah, almost like a Caltrans. Yeah, it's not really Caltrans. It's a different contractor, but they probably contract with Caltrans. You know, you know what I mean. They do use, they do contract with other companies, for the road work and stuff. Look, it looks like he passed up another one. That one he just passed up looked like that was one of his It's from the same company. I think he might have just passed up one of his buddies there or whatever. I don't know. DPD says, "I hope no one's hurt in the pursuit." Yeah, me too. Christine says most of these cases vehicle is stolen. Yeah, so did he just hop in the truck? They were like working. They were getting ready to set up a work zone, and somebody just hopped in the truck and took off and thought, "Hey, I need a truck." Hey, believe me, don't think the thought hasn't crossed my mind about doing something like that. So yeah, you see all those little road barrier things. The ones that have the lights that shine. They're like a little that they set up. Um, yeah, that one CHP, he's just staying a few car lengths behind him. Looks like they're kind of slowing down there. They're crossing the aqueduct right there. That was the California aqueduct. So now they have gone through. They're in Palmdale now. They've gone through this sort of windy section. It looks like he's going really slow because of that car in front of him. Yeah, look at that. He looks like he's going really slow. He's almost at, I think, Avenue S exit, unless he passed it already. But he's coming up on Avenue S, and then after that is going to be Palmdale Boulevard. He's trying to get around this. Is he trying to get around? Look at he's just getting right on this guy. He's going really slow. Look at that car in front of him. Is that dude just? I don't even think that dude's a cop unless he's off duty, maybe an off duty cop or something, or a. But that dude just stopped him. That's kind of funny. But now look at all the cops. That was kind of cool though, in a way. I think he just. But then he moved out. I don't know. That was weird. How he did that. I thought he was gonna like stop him, but now they're going at it again. Uh, WW, the police know that they will catch him. Johnny Cass, we have a potential vigilante. Yeah. So let's see, where are they at now? This is still. Was I right? I think I was right. Yeah, because I think they're coming up on Palmdale Boulevard right now. Um, Anna Moore, he's in flight mode, so this won't end well. Mad Mac, they need to put big semi trucks in every lane. DPD, I would just pull over if I were driving the black car. Well, that's what he eventually did. But so yeah, there's traffic management. That's the company. But whether the person driving works for them or if he just got in and hopped in, some rando dude thought, hey, I like this truck. I don't know. Because he's making a run for the border. Well, if he is, it would be the Canadian border because he's heading north. But he's probably about what? Almost 2,000 miles away, probably, or from the Canadian border, from Palmdale. So he's got a ways to go. Rolling roadblock. Everett Tauscher. Yeah, so they're showing this again. See, this was just a rando. I think that was just some rando dude. The cops had a chance, but he was giving him a chance. Mad Mac, that was his pregnant girlfriend in the black car that stopped him. Enrique. Okay, that sounds a little racist to me. That sounds a little racist to me. Advertiser. So a Canadian is driving. Yeah, instant replay on the car chase. Yeah. He slowed him down to like 0 miles an hour. I don't know why the cops. That was their chance, man. He gave that dude, that person in that car, gave him the chance. They could have fucking blocked him off right there. No, I'm not. That's a line from a movie. Well, still, I think it's racist because we don't know. We have no idea. I don't know who the driver is. I don't know. You know what his race is or whatever. So trying to see where he's at. So he's probably past Palmdale Boulevard by now.
Have a pretty strong signal here as we continue to follow this pursuit northbound on the 14. We're going through the Quartz Hill area. We're already north of Palmdale, going to Quartz Hill towards Lancaster. This driver again continuing to just sort of stay in this number 2 or number.
By the way, Quartz Hill is well west of the freeway. This is not Quartz Hill. This is Palmdale and Lancaster. Quartz Hill is several miles west. Maybe there was a sign that said Quartz Hill exit or something, but
for allegedly stealing this work truck in the Hollywood area.
It looks like we have
in Hollywood.
Sergeant, can you hear us?
It was stolen in Hollywood.
That phoner because CHP is the leading agency right now. Sergeant, could you hear us? Okay, Mark, I guess not.
Yeah, one other thing that I want to mention to you is that as far as weapons in this vehicle, the employee who was supposed to be in possession of this vehicle apparently did communicate to CHP that he or she was certainly not aware of any weapons in that vehicle. But of course, we don't know if the suspect brought any weapons into that vehicle, but there were no weapons in the vehicle at the time that it was stolen.
This is where I lived for 30 years, folks. I know where Quartz Hill is. Okay, it's well west of the freeway.
Speeds right around 75 miles an hour, and they have now moved back into that fast lane, and you can see it's wide open. Perhaps another opportunity to try a spike strip. You can see another.
They had a fucking opportunity. That black car had him. They had him at 0 miles an hour. That was their fucking opportunity.
Moments ago, one of the probably a civilian.
Gonna do a refresh to make sure.
And that actually brought that vehicle to a complete stop on that northbound 14 freeway. As California Highway Patrol did get near the vehicle, kind of walked in really, and then eventually the driver, that civilian, just drove off, and then the vehicle continued on. We don't know much about that driver, except it does appear to be a female, definitely vaping in there. And again, it was a crime of convenience, and it is definitely a Caltrans type of vehicle. It's a privately owned company. It's called Traffic Management, loaded up with a bunch of cones and stuff that for lane closures. If this does come to,
I said all that stuff
on a freeway
already.
Might be able to just use those cones. Ladies, back to you.
So
they're claiming it's a female driver. Yeah, I heard that too. I wanted to make sure I heard that right.
where I am, it says Coral Springs and Parkland Traffic Safety, Clark County, Florida. It just happened supposedly, so we're just keeping an eye on that as well.
Christian's is gonna toss it. Christian's gonna toss it. He's gonna be like,
Oh, they
whatever.
apparently all clear. Hold on, look. Oh, you're kidding.
So Sarah, you still out there?
Maybe it's that sugars and sugar.
So this is weird though. So there's a female driver. What, she just got in and just going out for a joyride. They said that the person is vaping while driving, or whatever that means. This is weird. Why do people do what they're gonna? She's gonna, that whoever's in there is gonna get caught and is gonna get in a lot of trouble. I mean, this person could be looking at, probably a couple of years in prison. Because they're gonna attack a bunch of charges, a bunch of endangering others, a bunch of endangerment type charges. And this person could, maybe this is the person's idea of getting, 3 hots in a cot for the next few years. I don't know. Josh C said, did they say there was a baby in the truck? I don't know. I don't think so.
Don't get crazy.
Not far. I'm thinking about it, but actually it's not far.
So it's weird. It's very, very weird.
Something happened in Tallahassee, but I'm also seeing Broward.
Ever tells you should be a news anchor. Yeah. Oh yeah. So when they said vaping, you thought they said baby.
Here we come. This guy's like, man, I never get to do anything cool.
The helicopter guy is kind of funny. Okay, so let's see that. That is the Lancaster. That's a shopping center. We're nowhere near Tehachapi. But I did just watch a YouTube video about some land near Tehachapi. I think it was 40 acres for like $80,000. Okay, so that is. I'm not sure what avenue that was. Maybe Avenue I. Oh, Spike Strip. There's the Spike Strip. Did they get it? Now, usually when if his tires went flat, I don't think it worked because I don't think the car would be still going. Usually they wipe out, or or those are some really fucking stout tires there. Oh, that's going down. That tire's going down. That front. Yeah. That's it. That's a done deal now. Yep. Yeah, now what's going to happen is the person going to sit in the car? That's what happened to the one I watched last week where they did the grappling thing and then it made the car go off into a wall. And then I didn't watch the whole thing, but the person just stayed in the car and they surrounded him for like hours and hours. So Mad Max says she isn't thinking about that, TJ. She's not in her right mind. Yeah, something's wrong. Anyhow, the car. I thought the tires were going down. It's amazing that the tires haven't started to shred. Yeah, look. It definitely looks low. Look at that. It's going to start coming apart if she keeps running that fast. Johnny Katz, methamphetamines is a hell of a drug. Yeah. Bill Carr says chases are fun to watch if no one gets hurt. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want anyone to get hurt. Okay, so where were we at? That was like Avenue E or something like that, probably. So we're getting close to where the last place I lived was out in Roseman. We're getting close to Roseman now. If you guys want to Google map it and you can figure out where I'm talking about. Look at that. That's down to the rim now. They're down to the rim and still going.
Yeah. This is part of the 14th freeway up in Lancaster where they've been doing a lot of work, so this would be the spot where they would have done it. I am a little concerned, though, that her speeds have not slowed down at all, and she's definitely
nothing.
To the rim, maybe on both sides
Not
of those front wheels. Definitely the spike strip was out there, clean hit, and they kind of did a little bit as they slowed, at least kept the traffic behind them. Like I said, it's down to 2 lanes, and then they blocked the on-ramp for a little bit. So there were a bunch of cars waiting, and then when she passed, that spike strip was clear across both lanes. Definitely hit both of them right off the box. Now you can see that we're down to the rim right now, so it's probably going to be a little bit. I'm always really concerned when we see things like that, especially when you're going 60 miles an hour. If something would come up,
Yeah, that's crazy.
probably not any other cars in front of her.
That's crazy. It's going that fast on the rims.
That truck,
Kudos to that truck, man. What is that, a Chevy? Is that a Silverado? Okay, so this is a mobile home park in Rosamond, I think.
There's the closest vehicle.
Or that might have still been Lancaster.
And, let's check their speed. So they're going a little slow. So there's a good possibility they're going to catch up. But there's only one car there. California Highway Patrol, they're going to be right behind it. Hopefully the lights and sirens will get that person at least alerted to what's going on. The real
yeah.
That driver just said, hey,
Legend.
you know what? This is getting too risky. Don't know where I was going or what I was thinking. I'm just going to pull over, bring this to an end. But right now, you can see it down to the rim. We know for a fact on the driver's side, I believe to say on the passenger side as well. So no front tires down to the rim. She's continuing to go. She slowed down a little bit. About 60 miles an hour.
It's kind of weird how the spike strip punctured apparently the front tires, but not the back tires. You know, you would think that if the front tires went over it, the back tires would have went over it too.
Oh yeah, the noise.
But maybe when the front tires hit it, it must have just flipped the spikes over, and then the back tires, when it ran over it, the spikes were down into at that point. Big Hook rear wheel drive.
Still not concerned.
And if she is, I wonder who she's calling. They're up for a little bit, and now they look like they're back down again.
That truck is tough. Yeah, they should use this for a commercial for these trucks, man.
The ball is definitely in their court. They're going to be up.
Yeah.
And stop.
Rather open. Got a little bit of a habit. Putting it in.
Heck yeah. Straight.
Okay, so where are they at? What's that overpass? There's an alfalfa field.
Wow, they're out in the desert. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, dude. The guy goes, "Wow, they're out in the desert." Yeah. Fuck, that's what do you think Palmdale, Lancaster, and Rosamond is? That's the fucking desert.
It's just like they're heading out to the desert. It almost does remind me of that last chase, that big chase we covered.
This guy, whoever's channel this is, has no idea where the desert is because they've been in the desert for like the last half an hour. I'm surprised that truck is still going though, with the down on the rims at that speed. This person, I don't know, man. So did they get to Mojave yet? Because he keeps saying Tehachapi, here we come. You have to go through Mojave, and then hit the 58, Highway 58, to get to Tehachapi. There is a way station up there on the 58, and there's a bunch of CHPs there at the way station.
All the way out from LA. Ooh, out to the desert, man. That's crazy. There's 4 choppers, looks like. At least, I guess 4 choppers moving.
This guy, he's just now figuring out they're in the desert. So this guy must be not knowing the area. Who knows where he's from? He must. I mean, I don't know how. If he's from California, I don't know how you could be from California or Southern California and not know where fucking Palmdale and Lancaster is, and know that that's the desert. And the 14 freeway, that's all desert, I don't know how. So I don't know where this guy's from. See the guy down here in the corner? Apparently this is his channel. I don't even know who it is. I just clicked on it. I don't even know. See, who is it? It's It's upside down exclamation point. CK Ed Mel. He's got 11,000 people watching. What started 15 minutes ago. I need to just do car chase to get if I want to get 11,000 people. Yeah, that dude's still going. Bill Carnes, what's her purpose? They're just yeah. You just wonder what is going on in the mind of this person. Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah, DPD, how can the truck maintain that speed on a rim? Yeah. Now it looks like it is going a little slower, but still pretty fast, for being on the rims.
And not to be nervous at all. Just like, oh.
Pretty crazy. Mad Mac, he's a transplant, obviously. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know where he's from. He might be doing this show from Florida, for all I know. I mean, it could be anywhere. I don't know. Which would be understandable. If he's from anywhere out of the state, then I could understand that he wouldn't know that they were in the desert. James Armio, how is that rim not grinding? Yeah, it seems like you would see sparks or something,
So, and the other helicopters, but they already had a little issue with it with the signal. I don't know if they're
Wow.
tracking us.
I mean, it's totally. I'm surprised that the tires haven't just totally shredded apart, though.
I really wonder
I mean, I know in the big trucks, I've had it where a tire went down, like one of the tandems or something, and I didn't know it at first, and then it just all of a sudden. So you're just driving along, and you don't really know that one of the tires went out, and then all of a sudden you'll just see it like explode because it's been driving, and probably not for very long, probably for like a half a mile or something. And the tire would just like explode. That's why you see those gators. We call them gators on the road. Those are the big tire treads and stuff.
Get up to Tehachapi. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
the Taylor's covered. I have a button. I have a special Cali button, hotkey
They
button.
got lane closures going on.
It opens
I
up.
wonder if there's actually construction.
Okay, so I'm trying to see where they're at. These houses here.
Pulls up all the Cali feed.
I'm trying to figure out if they just now getting to Rosemond or if they are in Mojave.
Oh, you see? Let me just see what we have available. ABC just for backup. Oh man, ABC has really good quality. I don't know if you want to hear Stu's commentary or ABC.
So if they would pull back on the shot a little bit, I could tell you exactly where they're at. They're either just kind of in downtown Rosemont Boulevard, or they does that kind of look like Rosemont Boulevard from what I can see of the little bit of the houses? Or it could be at Mojave. Now, when that person gets to Mojave, if they can either go straight and continue northward, and that'll take them up through the Owens Valley, up to Ridgecrest, and up to Bishop. They could go west. They could hit the 58 and go west, and that'll take them up through Tehachapi Mountains, and then eventually over the mountains and into Bakersfield. Or they could go eastbound on the 58, and that takes them back towards Barstow and to the 15, and then the 15 up to Vegas. Now those are long distances. I don't see how the car would make it, or that truck would make it that far. There's a news helicopter. So this guy is saying there might be setting up another spike strip. Up ahead here. Let's see. Mad Max says, think of what it sounds like inside the truck. Yeah, hearing that rim just Everett Township sparks not as visible in the daytime. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can see where they're at. Okay, so here's a longer shot. This might be somewhere between Rosamond and Mojave right now. So if you want to Google map it, you can see Rosamond and Mojave, California. I think that's about where they're at. Look at that helicopter. Wow. I think that's the ABC, local ABC one. Robert Nicholas says, Trucker, are you going to see Taco when he gets there today? He's doing a helicopter presser right now. Can't stand him. No, I'm not going to see him. But yeah, I know he was coming to town. They were on the news. All the news talked about was how there could be traffic delays. I think by the time I get to work, it'll all be done. By the time I go out, I think maybe he'll be out of here. But yeah, Trump is in Vegas today. Johnny Cat says third spiked strip set. Is this going to be the third one? They've already done two. I know they did one. Oh yeah, they did the other one where it was a complete whiff. I guess. Yeah. Oh look it looks like.
You see, there it goes. The rear tires are going, and open up a little bit.
Rear tire. I guess they finally got the rear tires. The front is completely down to the rims. You can see it's getting way unstable. It's getting very unstable. Barbara says, I was just wondering if Trucker is going to get an autograph. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, Trump's autograph. But I wonder what our end game is. Like people were saying earlier, maybe there is no end game. The person's just out of their mind. I don't know. And now, did it stop or did the video freeze? Because I'm not hearing any.
To me, I can't really tell.
Oh.
But it looks like their arms are out of the vehicle. Their arms are out of the vehicle, and it appears they're complying with the officer's demands at this point. If you keep your arms out, at some point in time, it'll be getting out of the vehicle, back up to the officers, then face down on the freeway more than likely, and then they'll move in and take the suspect into custody.
Well,
what the hell's going on here? Oh my God.
So they're going to have to actually put their hands at least back in the vehicle to take the seatbelt off. So I hope that relay that information down.
They may be doing that now.
Yeah. So then they'll navigate there. They do seem to be again.
Oh, there's the keys.
Yeah.
There's the keys, baby. Come on out.
The keys are out.
So this is the guy. This is his channel that I'm, I guess, stealing from. I don't know. But there's a bunch of this is it. The cops are there. Now, if I could.
Oh, she got a skirt. She got a skirt.
Let's see. There. So there. I don't know. I wish he would have the bigger. They would switch that. So yes. So this person's out of the vehicle and walking backwards and. It's just weird, though, isn't it? It's just, why would this person do this? But like someone said, meth is a hell of a drug. I don't know what this person's on. Seems like they're being able to comply and doesn't really look inebriated or anything like that. Now, one cop is still pointing at the car. I don't know if there's another person in the vehicle. If they think there might be a second person in the truck. But that one cop, he has his gun pointed at the truck. I wish he would flip his screens so that we could see the other one, instead of him. So they're cuffing her and putting her, taking her into custody. That all went very peaceful, I think, for the most part. Now they're approaching the vehicle. They've got their guns drawn on the vehicle just to make sure. But she probably told them if there was anyone in there, and probably said no, I'm just me. But so at least the owner of the vehicle will get the truck back in fairly good shape. Just going to need some new tires and new rims. Unless there was some undercarriage damage done, maybe. But it'll all be, I think, fixable. So now they just pull it off to the side of the road. Look at all the cop cars, all the CHP. That's all California Highway Patrol. They put her in custody. Did they put her in the unmarked car? I'm not sure. Or is she in this one? I forget. I saw him take her off to a car. I don't know. But anyhow, it's Miller time. All right, going to take her back to the station, book her, and then probably transport her to a holding facility, and will be arraigned. Let's see, what day is today? Today's Thursday. If she doesn't get arraigned by tomorrow, then she'll be probably on Monday. All right, so that's the end of that. Everett says, so it is a woman. Bad Mac, yes, I was pissed some other driver off as I went slow at times, but I didn't have to leave my car on the side of the road at least. So anyhow, this is my old stomping grounds. This is the area that I lived in for about 30 years. Now this is well north. This looks like I said, somewhere between Roseman and Mojave, probably. I didn't live in Mojave. I did live in Roseman though for about 10 years, I think. Or at least 8. So now they're going to compare notes. They're going to have to bring a tow truck out, tow that back to the impound yard or whatever they got out there. CHP. CHP does have sort of a little HQ right there in Lancaster on Avenue M, I think. Or maybe somewhere around there. So all these cops, the cops that are in the sort of khaki colors, I think those are CHP. The ones in the dark, I don't know if that was LAPD that went up, or if those are what the hell they are. Oh, because they do have LA County. Those might be the guys in the black uniforms. That's probably LA County Sheriff, maybe. I don't know. I thought those guys were kind of a greenish uniform. So I don't know. I don't know if LAPD, because I think CHP was always in the pursuit for all that we saw. I don't remember there being any LAPD. All right, so this guy's done. I guess we're done with that. There's Boston Brian. Hi, Boston Brian. You guys go over there and make sure to give a shout out from Trucker John. Yeah, so we're at 2 hours. We'll probably call it a day. I might go take a little nap, little nappy poo, and then go to work. And go say hi to Donald Trump, maybe. You know what? I'm not going to wear this hat anymore. It's ill fitting. I don't like the fit of this cap, even though it's a Dodger cap. Let's see. So we've got that meme about voting out Republicans. I did try to do my little thing. You know, you saw this, but it didn't come out right. I don't know. Aerospace highway. Yeah, that's Edwards is out there. Edwards Air Force Base. Of course, that you guys, if you watched any space shuttle landings, that was at Edwards Air Force Base. They've made lots of movies out there and stuff. This hat is just off. Yeah, Edwards Air Force Base. So on the 14, if you got off at Rosemont Boulevard and went east on Rosemont Boulevard for about 5 miles or maybe 10 miles, you would get to the gate to Edwards Air Force Base. Nola Carm says, I had a 68 Mustang and it stalled on the railroad tracks. I was 6 months pregnant. Some kid pushed it to my house a block away. An angel. Yeah. That sounds pretty hairy, pretty precarious. DPD says, wow, Nola, I believe we all have angels that surround us. We always thought that our son, my son Johnny, had his own guardian angel. And then when he was little, he would say, now we didn't know if he was talking about a Power Ranger. I'm talking about when he was really little, like 4 or 5, you know. He would say that he could see, because he would say, don't you see him? There's like this guy, he's wearing all blue, and he's on a motorcycle or something. And we were just like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. But there was a time, this one time when Johnny was still pretty much like a toddler, like 2 or 3, and we had gone up to visit relatives up in Fresno, where all of my mom's side of the family lived, and we had this big get together. I think it was one of my cousins was getting married or something. Anyhow, so we were in town with the family, and we were at a get together, and we were at this like an apartment building that one of the relatives lived at, and we were in this sort of downstairs kind of big patio area where we were all just, you know, meeting, and I think we had food and stuff. And Johnny was sort of walking around. You know, he was able to walk, and I know this is going to make me sound like a terrible parent, but somehow, because I think my daughter might have been born. She might have, I forget, because maybe Draga, that's my baby mama. She might have been attending, maybe if Jaylee was born yet. I don't know. And so I think it was sort of my job to watch Johnny. I don't know, but somehow I lost attention of Johnny. And then the next thing we knew, because there was like a stairway, a stairs, and then there was this landing that was like right above the kind of patio area that we're at. So there was this big stairway and this landing, and it had a railing. It had the railing, but all of a sudden, Draga, my baby mama, she just looks up and goes, "Oh my God!" And so we all look up, and there's Johnny up there, and the railing was so wide that he could have just fell right through it. And so we're like, don't move, don't move, don't move. And then I don't know. There was something that led us to believe there was an guardian angel that made it, because he did something where he just stopped and stopped walking and kind of like you know, maybe he was just listening to his mom, but I don't know. I remember we were thinking, oh my God, it was almost like someone led him by the hand and backed away from the railing, and nobody was up there until I ran up. This is when I was much younger and I was a little bit faster. I ran up and I got him, but we were like, oh my God, it was like we thought that there was a guardian angel, you know. And then there was another time when we were skiing. This is when he was a little older, a lot older. I mean, I think it was about how old was Johnny? Maybe we went skiing. I'm not even sure if he was 10 yet, maybe 9 or 10 or something. And we went skiing, and I think this is one of the first times we'd gone just a couple times skiing. So this wasn't the first time skiing, I don't think, but very, you know, still just learning and stuff. And I remember we got off, and my daughter was definitely born by then. So I mean, we had both my son and daughter, and we were skiing. We went on this. It was sort of like a tow rope because we were just doing some of the bottom hills, you know, for the kids and stuff. But still, I remember we got off the tow rope, and then so Draga and my daughter, they kind of went up ahead of us, and then it was me and Johnny, and then all of a sudden, again, here I am. I'm the worst father because all this shit that happens happens when I'm watching him. He just sort of took off and started going down the hill, and I remember I was kind of we were kind of like trying to go up the hill a little bit further, and I remember I was looking ahead, and then Draga's like, Johnny, and I turned around, and Johnny was already, and I don't think he meant to do this, but he just started going down the hill and really fast. So then I take off after him, but he was getting to the point where like he was just going so fast I couldn't catch him, and he was getting almost to the bottom, and everyone just like yelling like I think people were telling him to like just lay down because he was going so fast, and you could tell he was like out of control, like he was going to hit something, and if he hit something, it was not going to be good. He was going to get fucked up. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, this dude who's a way better skier than me, you know, because I'm not really that great, but I don't know, he just came out of nowhere, and he kind of just like, I don't know, he kind of just whipped around kind of in front of my son and was able to sort of grab him and just slow him down, and then bring him to a stop. And then I got down there, I was like, I don't know, 30 yards behind or whatever. And I got to him, but that guy who did that was just gone. I don't even know where he went because I was going to thank him and everything. He just vanished. So we were like, yeah, that was Johnny's guardian angel. That must have been his guardian angel. So there's a couple of things that seemed like where Johnny had a guardian angel, and he used to say that he could see the guardian angel when he was really little. So I don't know if there's guardian angels or not, if they're real, but we used to always think that Johnny had one. Because you know what, the thing about my son being up on the banister, I think there was somebody that was the thing. That's why there was somebody that all of a sudden came out. I think, now that I think about it, they kind of came out and just kind of like moved him back from the rail. And then when I got up there, the person was gone. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Anyhow, so yeah, my son has a guardian angel, apparently. DPD 5844 tweet yippee! Thank you so much, DPD. I appreciate you for that. $20. It says, add this tip to your Acorns account, TJ. I mean it. Do it now. Yeah, I have Acorns and Robinhood, and I don't really have anything in them. So okay, I'll do that. Everett Tauscher says, I was on a trail on the side of a steep hill once and fell to the right, and something pushed me back straight up. Wow. Every time says, yes, I had been drinking. And the people with me didn't notice, and I didn't tell them. DBD says, babies see things as adults that we don't see. Yeah, that's sort of what we, because I don't think he sees them anymore. Yeah, I think once he got to be like, I don't know, 10 or something, I don't think he could see it anymore. Mad Max says, TJ's poster about voting every Republican out needs fixing. I say vote every single married one out. Haha, sorry. Every single or married one out? Oh, I get it. Well, they did put a period after single, so, anyhow. But there's Mad Mac with a joke. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I think I'm going to take a nap and send you guys over to Boston Brian, who's talking about Hegseth. He's probably talking about the stupid thing he did. Let's see. Now, any of these peace negotiations. So this is Pete Hegseth again. Okay, so he's talking about Hegseth, about what he said about being locked and loaded. All right, guys. So yeah, if you guys want to go over to check out whatchamacallit, it's a bloody joke. I know. I didn't. I gave you the rim shot. I said it was a joke, and that's what the rim shot means. And then I actually said, yeah, it was a joke. Anyhow, I said you did a joke. You don't need to tell me it was a joke. I said it was a joke, and I did the boom. That's the rim shot. That's what you do after if you tell a joke. You do a rim shot. Anyhow, yeah, and there's a little Josh C's with the little drum there. Set your alarm. Yeah, I don't want to sleep all day. Johnny Cat's gone. Oh, Mad Max says it was a damn funny one too. Well, if you got to tell people that your jokes are funny, maybe they're not funny. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure, in real life, you had to be there. I think you had to be there. Nola Carnes says, thank you, TJ. See you at Boston Brian's. Thank you, Nola Carnes, for being here. Say hi to Brian for me. But yeah, I guess that's about it. So we covered a car chase that was weird because why? Why did that lady do that? Sometimes you just can't figure out why people do what they do. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, maybe there was something in her system. I don't know. But she seemed, when she got out, she seemed to be able to walk and do all the commands flawlessly. But that doesn't prove that she's not under something. But maybe something's going on. I don't know what the hell was going on, why people do what they do. But who knows? She might end up going to prison for a couple years for that. She put a lot of people in danger. She endangered a lot of lives. That's what the court's going to say. That's what the DA is going to say, So we'll see about that. Janelle Walker, who you're watching? Oh, that was some dude. I don't know, just random. It was a car chase. I said his name earlier. It was like upside down, exclamation point, CK something, some rando dude. But I didn't have anything else to talk about, so I thought we would do the car chase for a while. It was actually I thought it was interesting. It was more interesting to me because it was from the area that I've lived almost my whole life at. Mad Mac, I'm still laughing at how brilliant a joke that was. Well, you have a good time laughing at your joke. I'm just having fun with you, says Mad Mac. I know. That's okay. Who were you watching? We were watching the car chase. DPD is a great show. TJ Muzz, have a great day. And thank you again, DPD. Now that was after the goal, so we had 2. I'm going to count that. We had 2 out of 5, basically, for our fan funding. Nola Carnes with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Nola Carnes. That was for that was coffee money, and DPD giving me some Acorns account money, $20. Thank you, DPD. Yippee to both of you. I do appreciate you for doing that, helping us out, helping the show, help keep us going and growing. We're at 4,407 by the last thing I saw. So let's get that going so we can get the 5K Hennessy Day. I still got that bottle of Hennessy that's just waiting to be cracked open as soon as we get to 5,000 subscribers. Mad Mac, it was fun watching the car chase. It was a good ending, which made it better. Yeah, I'm glad that no one really got hurt, and hopefully that person. I have known nothing about that person, but I hope that that person will get the help that they need. They obviously need some kind of help, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but I hope that person gets the help that they need. Because that's just weird to do that. People do weird shit though. All right, guys. I'll see you again on Saturday, 11 a.m. right after the House Sparks show. So let's gear up for that on Saturday. Let's watch House Sparks and then come right over to Trucker John and we can see what happens. You just never know what's going to happen over here at Trucker John. We might watch a car chase. We might just listen to Mad Max jokes. You know, we might get financial advice from DPD. Who knows? You never know about the old Trucker John channel. That's what makes it interesting, I think. So, all right, guys. Yeah, I got to get going. I got to go. I got an appointment with Trump. Now Trump's going to come to town. He's just trying to talk about. Hey, I got the no tax on tips, huh? Huh? You like that, right? This is what he's going to say. Hey, what about that no tax? Huh? You like that, huh? The no tax on tips? Oh, you guys, I know you're all getting tips. Huh? What do you think of that, huh? What do you think of that? Got that? That's what I got that. Meanwhile, everyone's looking at $5 a gallon gas and saying, you know, thanks for that. Mad Mac, yeah, I do 2 shows on Saturdays. Be sure to tip your servers because they're not getting taxed on it, apparently. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm just getting a coughing thing going. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. But this kind of feels good, what I'm doing right now. I'm just sort of doing this to my chest. It kind of feels good. I might just do this for the rest of the afternoon. I don't know. Tax on tips only lasts for 1 year. Really? So you get 1 year. Huh? We're not going to tax your tips for 1 year. Huh? Robert Nicholas, that's how you get a vehicle and not pay for it? Yeah. Mad Max says, go flip the orange pedo off for us, TJ. I will. I will go, this is from the trucklers. Hey, Trumpy, this is from the trucklers. This is what they tell you to do. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot, Mad Mac. I almost forgot. Anyhow, please hit that subscribe button. Guys, I really want to get to 5K. I really want to see what the Hennessy tastes like. So let's hit that subscribe button. And I know probably all of you in here have, but just, I don't know, help get us in the algorithm so we can get to the 5K Hennessy Day. But thank you all for being here. I do appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Yeah, you know what? If I see Trump does not want to cross my path. All right, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get, I don't want to end up getting arrested. But so that's all I'm going to say. Trumpy, you better not cross my path because you'll get double fingers. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, fuck Trump. Fuck that asshole. No tax on tips, my ass. Fuck you, asshole. Yeah. Yes, Tough Cookie. I second that motion. I also, I'm not a fan of the orange one. I'm more into purple power. Purple power, and that's a reminder. Vote every Republican out. Turn those red districts purple, people. I want to see more purple districts. Of course, the ones that are blue, I want them to stay blue. But the red ones, let's turn them purple. Purple people power, baby. That's right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Make sure you check out your voter registration. Make sure you're all current. And let's get to November. Let's get ourselves to November, guys. Let's do it. Let's turn that red purple. And then we'll go from there on it. All right? But thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Do appreciate you. Thank you so much. There you go. See you on Saturday, 11 a.m., right after the House Spark Show. Don't forget. Come on over. We'll dial up another car chase, probably. I don't know. Or whatever. You know, whatever happens, happens. Thanks, Paul the Purple Beard Guy. Thanks, Tough Cookie, for popping in, making your little appearances. So that's it for today. We just got to do, let me get rid of some of this stuff here. A little house cleaning. Let's get ready for the words of wisdom. Are you guys ready for the words of wisdom? Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you ready for the words of wisdom? The words of wisdom that are going to be coming down on you. Are you ready? Brothers and sisters, are you ready for today's words of wisdom? Are you ready? Get your pens and paper out. And let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to do this right today. We're going to get it done. I know people have been sending me messages and telling me, hey, there's some sort of audio issue. I don't know what they're talking about, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so guys, ready? Write this down. Today's words of wisdom, all right, are as follows. All right, ready? Here we go.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. All screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win. It's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. Whoa. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.